created the world also. And He has made these things very, very enjoyable, sex life and this and that. So why not enjoy if God has created it? So, but that is foolishness. That is foolishness. It is not enjoyable. If a criminal says the prison house is very enjoyable, it is like that. Chavana. But all the travel brochures and this advertisement, they say it's nice. It's nice here. All the advertising travel brochure, they say it is nice. Prabhupada, let him say, but prison house, is it nice? That is foolishness. Chavana, but everyone else says it is nice. Prabhupada, everyone? I don't say. Chavana, you are the only one who says it is not nice. Prabhupada, I am the only intelligent person. That's a fact. Moda na bijhanati. Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudhiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9 and Texts 43 and 44. Sarva Veda Mayenedam Sarva Veda Mayenedam Atmana Atma Atmayonina Atmatma Atmatmatmana Yonina Atmanatmatmana Yonina Prajaha Sruja Yatha Purvam Praja Sruja Yatha Purvam Yaha Cha Mai Anuserate Yascha Mai Anuserate Sarva Veda Mayenedham Atmanatmana Atmanatma Praja Shuja Yatha Purvam Yascha Mai Anuserate Sarva Veda Mayenedham Atmanatma Yonina Praja Shuja Yatha Purvam Yascha Mai Anuserate. sarva, all, Vedamayena, and the complete Vedic wisdom. Idam, this, Atmana, by the body, Atma, you, Atmayonina, directly born of the Lord, Prajaha, living entities, Shuja, generate, Yatha Purvam, as it was herein before, Yaha, which, Cha, also, Mai, in me, Anuserate, lie. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swamy Prabhupada. Translation: by following my instructions, you can now generate the living entities as before, by dint of your complete Vedic wisdom and the body you have directly received from me, the supreme cause of everything. Please repeat. By following my instructions, you can now generate the living entities as before, by dint of your complete Vedic wisdom and the body you have directly received from me, the supreme cause of everything. Text 44, I will read it by myself. Maitreya Uvacha Tasma Evam Jagasrastre Pradhana Purusheshwaraha Vyajedham Svena Rupena Kanjanabas Tirodade. Translation: the great Maitreya, the sage Maitreya said, after instructing Brahma, the creator of the universe, to expand, the primeval Lord, the personality of Godhead, in his personal form as Narayana, disappeared. Purport: before his activity in creating the universe, Brahma saw the Lord. That is the explanation of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. When the creation awaited Brahma's activity, Brahma saw the Lord, and therefore the Lord existed in his personal form before the creation. His eternal form is not created by the attempt of Brahma as imagined by less intelligent men. The personality of Godhead appeared as he is before Brahma, and it disappeared from him in the same form, which is not materially tinged. The Sanstha Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy. The Sanstha Bhaktivedanta purport: Om Ajnanathimirantasya Anjanashlakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Na Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So these are the concluding verses of this chapter, 9th chapter, which is titled Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy. So we all saw in this chapter how Brahma, Lord Brahma, when he was assigned the service of generating the living entities, he felt incapable, and then he prayed to the Supreme Lord for creative energy, the power to create. So here you can see in this verse, Krishna is now authorizing. He has already authorized, now he is giving him the final permission to go ahead. He is saying, Praja Shuja Yatha Purvam. Now you can generate the living entities as before, but by following Eschamai Anuserate, by following the instructions given by me. And then Lord says you will be able to do it because Sarva Vedamaye Nedham, because of your complete Vedic wisdom and also the body that you have received from me. So the supreme cause of this is the final verse spoken by the Lord before he disappeared. So he is saying, by following my instructions, you go ahead now. Now you can now generate the living entities. But what about the kind of knowledge or intelligence that I require in my services? So during the conversation you will see Krishna explains that all that will come to you by the form of the Lord in the heart as super soul. The Lord assures him that you don't worry, you go ahead with your service, and whatever intelligence and strength that you need will come to you. So the Lord is directing the devotee in their services online. There is a continuous interaction with the Lord in the heart. But then we have we are still conditioned, so that's why it is important that all such ideas and thoughts or intelligence that we receive is checked with the spiritual master's instructions. So if if we know that yes, Prabhupada has approved, in his system things are approved, then we are safe. So here main point is that Brahma, he felt that he is actually not capable of doing his service without Lord's blessing. Every pure devotee has the same feeling. He feels that currently I do not have the energy or the Shakti in order to do this. So he always prays to the Lord for empowerment. He prays to the Lord for the special blessing. Radha Govinda ki jai. So in Prabhupada's life also we can see Prabhupada always felt that actually I am not capable. My Guru has given this service, but actually I am not capable to execute this. So he was crying to Rupa Goswami, he is crying to the predecessor acharyas, he is praying to Krishna to give him the special empowerment so that he can execute the services of his spiritual master. So this is the pure devotion that Brahma is setting an example here. So in his parampara we can see even Prabhupada also, he has exhibited the same humility, because it is the nature of the living entity to constantly depend on Krishna. It's a continuous dependence on Krishna. We will not be able to achieve anything, do anything, if we don't develop this dependence on the Supreme Lord. So Krishna and Guru has made possible for us to do some service, and the devotee's mood is that yes, I have to do this by depending on Guru, by depending on Krishna, by depending on the Vaishnavas. This is the mood. So then Maitreya Rishi is explaining what happened after the final instruction from the Lord to the Brahma. He says, after instructing Brahma, the creator of the universe, to expand, the primeval Lord, he disappeared. So here you can see Prabhupada comes up with a beautiful conclusion. He says, before Brahma started his creation, he saw the Lord. Saw the Lord means Lord has a form. Certainly he has a mouth. Certainly he spoke. There are some sounds. He spoke. That means he is a person. So the person is there and he has got his senses. He is able to understand what Brahma is saying and he is able to give an explanation. And then he is so he has a mouth, he has ears, he has brain, he has intelligence. All these are present in the Supreme Lord. He has a wonderful form. So before creation, Brahma saw, and even before he started his creation, he saw that Lord has disappeared. Now just now he has disappeared from the vision of Brahma, and then now Brahma is going to create. That means Krishna's form or Narayana's form is not within the creation of Brahma. Brahma is not yet begun his creation. Now in next chapter we will see, in the 10th chapter, it's called divisions of creation, how Brahma creates in various divisions. So he has not yet begun his creation, and then but he already saw Krishna's form, and he also saw the same form disappeared from his vision. So it clearly proves that Krishna's body is differently existing. It is not dependent on Brahma's creation or the creation of the material nature. So that's why here Prabhupada in the purport is saying Krishna's body is eternal form. It has existed before, and after the prayers and after this assurance, when he disappeared, it is there and it is going to exist continuously. It's an eternal form because Lord has assured Brahma, you will get direction online. So he is going to exist. It's not that disappeared means now he is finished. So it's an eternal form. So why this particular point is stressed again and again in various places in Prabhupada's purports is that every conditioned soul more or less thinks that I am the Lord of all I serve. And many of them, they think that Krishna's body is ordinary. Everybody's mood is to prove that he is the Lord, he is supreme in some aspect. He wants to show. Some people want to show that I am supreme in wealth. So there is a race to become world number 1, world number 2, world number 3. They want to sit there. And in terms of power, there is a race to achieve bigger and bigger positions in life. They want to become MLA, they want to become minister, they want to become prime minister. After becoming minister, chief minister for some time, then the next goal will be prime minister. Like that you will see in this world there is a continuous race to achieve supremacy over everybody else. And the driving force is that everybody thinks that yes, I am the Lord, or I am going to be the Lord. So that's why Prabhupada is saying, no, you have to accept the real God. The Lord is already existing. Lord's position is not waiting. There is no vacancy there. And Krishna is not a position, he is a personality. He is already existing, and nata sama abhyadika. There is no adhika and there is no sama. There is no competition for Krishna. So Krishna, he also mentions this in Bhagavad Gita. He says, in a very terse language, he says, avajhananti mamudha manusham tanumashritam. Krishna has accepted a body like human, resembling human form. Actually, Krishna is not human. He doesn't belong to any of the 84 lakh species of this universe. So that way he is not human. He has his own individual experience, existence, Sachidananda. But when he appears, he looks like a human being, manushim tanumashritam, But param bhavam ajananto, but although he is looking like a human, he has param bhavam, he has a higher nature, transcendental nature is there. And what is that nature? Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. I am the supreme controller of all the living entities. So he appears like human in a living entity of this world, but what is his position? He is the Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. So this recognizing Krishna's position as the supreme controller of all Bhuta, all the living entities, this is the key point. How can he be the same like me? He is not an ordinary person. How he can be the supreme controller of all the living entities? This is impossible. Just one or two shlokas before, Krishna says, he says, Prakritim swam avastabhya vishrujami puna puna bhutagramam imam krishnam avasham prakrute vasha. He is saying, the whole cosmic order is under me. Whole cosmic order. That means the innumerable universes, planetary systems, innumerable living entities, everything is, the cosmic order is under me. By my will, it is manifested again and again. And by my will, it is annihilated at the end. Now look at this personality. And then you may say, oh, you are doing a lot of hard work. So maybe you are affected by that. Krishna is saying in the next shloka, Nachamam tani karmani nibadnanti dhananjaya. Oh Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. Here if somebody works a little hard, immediately tiredness and then body pains, and then he requires massage, and there are so many things. But here Krishna is saying, all this work cannot bind me. And then he says, Udasina vadasinam. Why? I am situated as though neutral, like a judge. So this is the position of Krishna. And then he concludes, Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. This entire prakriti is under working under my direction. Then how can we think that Krishna is an ordinary person? If everything is running under his direction, why not depend on him? If somebody is directing the entire universe, this whole material nature, it is intelligence to depend on him, to surrender to him. Under his direction, if we can do, then it is perfect solution. Because he knows the whole picture. The problem with us is that we don't have the whole picture. If you take a decision, something goes wrong, somebody becomes upset, or some structure collapses, or something else goes wrong. Why? You do not have the whole picture. Only Krishna knows what exactly is going on in this universe. He knows factually what is happening. No living entity can ever understand the real scope of what's going on. There are so many universal factors are dependent, influencing our day-to-day work. We have not even have that perception. Right now, for example, there are some planets which are influencing our whole mind, consciousness and everything. Continuously there is an influence on us. We are under influence. And Krishna is saying he is not bound by any such influence. Now this is the difference. Krishna is supremely powerful, and then he has, this Prakriti has no influence on him. So if somebody thinks that Krishna is an ordinary person, that's why Krishna is using the word Mudha. He's a foolish man. He's a foolish man. Actually, in this purport, Prabhupada gives very nice references to Krishna's position, even quoting from Vedas. He says, Sachidhananda Rupaya Krishnaya. So his body is eternally blissful form of knowledge. This is the position. Which is eternal in this world? There is nothing. So it is very clear that he is a distinct personality. We should know that there is a personality who is distinctly, he may look like us, but then he is completely distinct from us. And what is his position? He is saying everything runs because of my will, Krishna's direction. Also it is said, Tamekam Govindam. Like that, it's a beautiful purport one should read. So here, okay, so if somebody thinks that Krishna is an ordinary person, then what is the impact? The impact is very serious. Krishna is saying here, Rakshashim Asurim Chaiva Prakritim Mohinim Shita. He says he will get attracted to atheistic and demoniac tendencies. Asuric and demoniac inclinations will come into a person if he says, Krishna is also like me, an ordinary person, then he develops such tendencies. If you see Krishna book, read Krishna book and then look at the demons' thinking and attitude towards Krishna, one common phenomena that you will say is that they all challenge. Now I am going to finish you. This is the language of the demons. Why? Because they think, okay, you are also like me only. You are an ordinary king. We are also kings. We have conquered many kingdoms. Now we are going to conquer you also. This is the tendency of the asura, demoniac tendency. And then if such tendencies come, then what happens is moghasha moga karmano moga jnana vichetasaha. If he has any hopes for liberation, or if he has any hopes for achieving big goals in this life, or such hopes are moghasha, frustrated, they will not be able to achieve. Any targets in education, any targets in achieving some big goals in this life, or any targets for liberation, becoming perfect, everything will be frustrated if somebody thinks that Krishna is an ordinary. In the purport, Prabhupada writes interestingly, there are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the absolute truth. Prabhupada is even referring to somebody who may be claiming that I am Krishna conscious and engaged in devotional service, but at heart they do not accept Krishna as the absolute truth. So Prabhupada is saying, for them the fruit of devotional service, going back to Krishna, will never be tasted. So this is the danger. One has to scrutinizingly understand what is Krishna's position in truth. Then only they will be, with the whole heart, they will be able to engage in devotional service. That means all of us are having doubts, still doubts about Krishna's position. If you don't have any doubts, then what happens to such a person? That the conclusion you can see here. Mahatmanastu mam padha daivim prakritimashritha bhajanti ananya manaso. Continuously 24 hours he is rendering services to Krishna, glorifying him. Jnatva bhutadhim avyayam, because he knows clearly that he is the origin. He is the original and inexhaustible. So that's why they are fully engaged in service to me. So this is the thing. Understanding Krishna as the supreme absolute truth is so essential. If one believes completely that he is the Supreme Personality of God, he has no anxieties in his life. He is not worried what will happen to my life, whether this will happen, that will happen, will it happen or not, and this and that. He knows, okay, by Krishna's sanction, things have come to this level, he will take care. Why I should worry so much? Particularly for material things, one should not worry unnecessarily. What will happen? Will I get my food? Will I have safety in the future? Will I get married or not? Or will I have this? Will I have that? These are all useless contemplations. One has to fully focus on service. Believing that Krishna is in control of the whole Prakriti, can he not control my life? He's already controlling. Then why am I in anxiety? One has to simply render his services without any calculations. One should not worry. Should I be in this? Should I be in that position, or in this ashram, in that ashram? Simply go on executing one's devotional service and trying to understand Krishna as he is, as given in Bhagavad Gita, in all these Vedic literatures. Then one becomes free. Otherwise, although we may be in the dress of a devotee or in devotional service, we will always be in anxiety particularly about our material future. So this is not advisable. One has to depend on Krishna and leave it to him. If Krishna wants, it will happen. If he doesn't want, can you make it happen? Let us say Krishna doesn't want. Can you make it happen? You cannot make it happen. So better leave it to Krishna, do your little endeavor, and then absorb yourself in service. This is the situation. We may announce and do big projects, and it's not that we have a clear picture of what is going to come, how the resources will come. It's not that, okay, everything is worked out nicely and then, yes, it will be done. No. And ultimately, Lord is in control. And after all, what are we doing? It is Lord's pure devotee's decision that yes, you expand. Expanding Krishna's glories is not actually, that is his business only. Devotees wants to take initiative to glorify Krishna, and then Krishna reciprocates. Says, okay, do it. You want to glorify me? Okay, do it. Mahatmanastu mam padha daivim prakrutim. So this is Prabhupada's mercy. He has kept us in Daivi Prakriti framework. Live in that framework and always glorify Krishna. Don't live in that framework and then glorify the material energy. How powerful your fate is. Oh, my destiny is like this. I am like this. I cannot do. I am this thing, that thing. Don't get into. Your mood should be how I can glorify Krishna today. That's all. And tomorrow, even more innovatively, I want to glorify. That's all. This is the mood of a devotee. Day after day, he wants to creatively, innovatively glorify Krishna in all the services that he is doing, whatever service that may be. So then we will remain free from these material anxieties and stress. This is the secret. Any questions? Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణ వాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700. హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700.